All right, sexual follies. You know, I started this program with this Justin Trudeau telling people how to talk. And judgmentalism is to me, one of the most offensive things that is coming out, sometimes from the right, always from the left. You know, I've said this many times that if you opened the gospel and every sentence had been removed except Jesus saying, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," you could deduce the crucifixion. You could look at that and say, "Oh, they're going to kill that guy." You know, nobody gets away with that, because this is the one thing we all love to do. And Christians, you know, a lot of Christians just hate that command more than any other. They want to tell you which movies to watch. They want to tell you how to have sex, which words you can use and be a good Christian. And of course, the left is just constantly policing everything we think and say and do. And yet, on the other side of this, as Christians are always fast to point out because they want to get back to telling people what to do, on the other side of this is the fact that, of course, you have a higher likelihood of living a good life if you do certain things and don't do other things, a life that is moral, a life that lives into the self that you were supposed to be when God made you. And so, you know, what do you do? How do you communicate that to people if you feel you know something that they don't know? And I would say it's the difference between purity and puritanism. The difference between purity and puritanism is, in one, you are focusing on yourself and fixing yourself, taking the plank out of your own eye. And puritanism, you are incredibly busy telling other people about the mote in their eye. I just want to end with this cut that I found on the Daily Wire that just really, really moved me. A woman named Brittany de la Mora, who was a porn star, and she came to God, and suddenly it occurred to her that she was not, this was not making her feel good about herself. This was not the way she wanted to live. And she got into a relationship with a pastor. She decided to become sexually chaste outside of marriage. And she's lived this life. And listen to the way she talks about this.
Purity is not an external thing.
Yeah.
Purity really is an internal thing. So the reality is like, you can't just have an impure heart with wrong motives and be a pure person, because it's not the abstinence of sex that makes you pure. It's, you know, the relationship and the right standing that you have with God that makes you pure.
I think that is a brilliant statement. And, you know, the thing is, because she's thinking about herself, she's making herself into a living example, a living testimony of the gospel, instead of coming out and telling you what you should do and it's your fault. And she's not blaming the porn industry. She's not blaming all the people who, I'm sure, abused her and used her in horrible ways. And yet she's not thinking about that. She's thinking about herself. And that means that she's going to have a better life and get closer to the person God made her to be. And that is the way of changing. That is not just the way of changing the moment. It also is the way of changing the future in a level 2 chaotic system. Tomorrow, the mailbag. Go on dailywire.com, go on the podcast, Andrew Klavan podcast, hit the mailbag, ask the questions, we'll answer them. You'll be cured. I'm Andrew Klavan. I got to get out of here. This is the Andrew Klavan Show. See you tomorrow. The Andrew Klavan Show is produced by Robert Sterling. Executive producer, Jeremy Boring. Senior producer, Jonathan Hay. Our supervising producer is Mathis Glover. Technical producer, Austin Stevens. Edited by Alex Zingaro. Audio is mixed by Mike Cormina. Hair and makeup is by Jesua Alvera. And our animations are by Cynthia Angulo and Jacob Jackson. The Andrew Klavan Show is a Daily Wire Forward Publishing production. Copyright Forward Publishing 2018.